Coming up on Locked On NBA Daily. It's another bad loss for Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers. Are they running out of time to turn things around? Meanwhile, I'll ask the guys, who would they pick to take the final shot in a close game? Would they take Anthony Edwards or someone else? Plus, we set up an MVP showdown between SGA and Nikola Jokic. Locked On NBA Daily starts now.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. However you're tuning in on YouTube or on your podcast app, thanks for making us your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed. Vanilla-y cakey flavor. Caffeinated kick and no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. I'm Wes Goldberg, and today we're talking about a spiraling Lakers season, a Rookie of the Year race that's heating up, in a head-to-head matchup between the two leading MVP candidates, and we are doing it with the help of Locked On's local experts. I have two of the best with me, as always, from the Locked On Nuggets podcast. He's a senior NBA writer for the Action Network. It's Matt Moore. Matt.
I got nothing today. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Locked On Bulls podcast. He's also Bears and Bulls creator for Bleacher Report. It's Haize.
It is Friday. That's the only thing to have. This is a great day. Let's get through this.
Let's do it. Let's start with this Lakers loss to the Suns last night. Another bad loss marked by a lack of execution at the end. They lost to the Magic earlier in this week in a very similar way, and the Lakers now have lost 3 in a row. They're only a game out of slipping into the play-in tournament. Here's more from Locked On Lakers.
I don't think you're going to find many moments where fans are angrier than they are on this Thursday evening as we sit down to record after the Lakers lose to Phoenix, a wildly undermanned Phoenix team with no Devin Booker, no Dylan Brooks,
No Jordan Goodwin.
Very undermanned Phoenix team. The Lakers lose 113 to 110. Similar to the Orlando game, Andy, a game that went away from them in the final seconds, and they had a chance to get a shot to win. Couldn't do it. Oh my. This was an ugly, ugly game that even had they won, which would have been better, it still would have been pretty awful. I mean, this is a bad performance by this team.
You saw on the rundown there for Locked On Lakers, at the very end, they have, what's up with this team? So, Matt, I'm going to ask you, what's up with this team?
They don't believe collectively, and I'm not I've been a Luka Doncic critic in the past, and I'm not trying to just rehash old things, but whenever I look at teams like this where, okay, you have talent, you could say the roster isn't good, fine, all right, this isn't the Wizards, this isn't the Jazz, this isn't, well, the version of the Jazz choose to put out there. This isn't even the Hawks. You have talent. So what's the problem? And I always kind of go to leadership. That's a leadership problem. I don't think that they have enough leadership structure there. I don't think they have somebody who's actually getting them locked in. I don't think they're playing for one another. That's a huge problem. They are not playing for one another. They do not play with a collective belief. These are all very, ephemeral narrative-y things. If you want, we can break it down. They can't defend. Their best player is lazy, and they don't have enough shooting surrounding him, and their center is absolutely playing like trash because he refuses to play like he should, which is like Clint Capella. We can talk about the basketball reasons, but to me, the bigger problem is they don't have a collective belief, because that allows for these types of collapses where when things get tough, you completely fall apart because you do not have any sort of collective identity to fall back on.
I also want to, before we get into this, I want to thank the basketball community for reacting the way that they should have to DeAndre Ayton's Clint Capella. I've never seen so many people supporting a role player publicly, because usually, you don't see that on social media. So I want to give credit where credit's due. A lot of people actually did what they needed to do with that one. As far as the Lakers, I mean, this is inherent. We knew the problems with this roster, and at times they were able to overcome it with pure talent. I'm not going to go in on Luka as much as Matt does, but I mean, this team isn't built around Luka's strengths all the way yet. And that's just the reality of it. Your 3 best players on the court together, you're net negative. That's going to be a problem for any team. And that's just until the Lakers get a chance to really reconstruct this roster around Luka like they need to. I think they're always going to have some of this. So, yeah, the Lakers have major problems, and those problems are going to get even more pronounced in the playoffs, I believe.
How many times has Luka Doncic been on a team that's been a top 3 seed, that's been an elite squad in the West? How many times has that happened in Luka's career?
Zero, right? That's never happened.
Zero.
Yeah.
Like he's plus. Let's do the data side. All right, we've done the narrative stuff. We've done the roster stuff. Let's do the data. They're +3 with Luka on the court this season. It's not good enough, man. And if you're like, well, it's a roster. Okay, it was the same way in Dallas. It was the same way last year. It was the same way in Dallas for year after year after year. And this has been a thing. And there's been a million excuses levied for why this is the case. The reality is that you do not win your minutes by enough when Luka Doncic is on the floor. Now, the answer to that is not to trade him, but it's just like he just needs to play better. He just needs to be more of a leader. He needs to be more of a force. They need to find ways to optimize what they have. A lot of this is also like, you can't wish for the roster to be different. This is what you have. Make the best of what you have. That's what you have to do.
There is a lot of top-end talent on this roster. What I find interesting about all of this and why I think we're in an interesting place with the Lakers right now is that this was the one thing that they were good at, was the clutch time stuff. And this week they've been so bad at it, whether it was against Orlando or against Phoenix. And you watch into this Phoenix Suns game, and to both of your points, Luka just defensively he's never been worse than what he's been right now. At the end of this Suns game, the Suns attacked him over and over and over again. And there were plays where to say that Luka was getting attacked defensively would be a compliment. He wasn't even involved in the play half the time. He was just standing in the middle of the court, either unsure of what to do, which I found hard to believe for a player with his basketball IQ. Like, I know we typically associate that with offense for him, but smart players are smart players. He knows where to be defensively. So it's either an unwillingness to do what he needs to do defensively or a laziness, to Matt's point earlier. He cannot be that bad defensively. And I don't know how many times somebody kind of has to shake his shoulders and say, play defense at the end of these games.
I think you're confused, Wes. You see, he had a whole thing in Men's Health that showed how in shape he is, and now everything's fixed. That's how it works, right, Haize?
He does still look in shape. Haize.
I mean, he's not quite at the offseason in shape, though. We all knew that some of that weight was coming back on. But that's why me and Matt both said, like, that defense that we saw in international basketball, we knew that wasn't going to hold true in the NBA, not for a full season from Luka.
I want to look ahead to this weekend because the Lakers play the Warriors Saturday night. Two teams very much struggling to stay relevant in this playoff conversation, but this game is on primetime ABC. It's LeBron and Steph, obviously. Matt, you raised this question to our chat before we started recording, but does the league need to move on from depending on LeBron and Steph so much for their coverage? Not necessarily, I don't think it's wrong to celebrate LeBron and Steph. These are two all-time greats, but it's a little like these teams aren't very good, and it kind of feels like it's the biggest story when these two guys play, and that could be a problem going forward.
Yeah, I just think that we've got to kind of focus on the teams that are actually good. The Lakers haven't been a good team in a while, and I understand they were supposed to be because they got Luka. I get the star power. It does just feel like we just continue to hammer home LeBron versus Steph because it was such a bellwether and such a cash cow. And a lot of this is, I don't blame the league necessarily. I think it's the TV partners problem where the TV partners are like, ooh, Steph, especially ESPN. ESPN in particular is like, if you could just have LeBron play Steph 40 times, we would just rather have that than having to pay attention to anybody else. Can we just have LeBron play Steph 40 times? Because they always want the most direct path to the casual viewer. And the
Honestly,
casual
that sounds fun.
And the casual, no. Neither one of them, like, it is not 2016.
If we could have just eliminated the Lakers and the Warriors from playing every other team and they just play each other all season, we wouldn't have had the Jonathan Kuminga conversation all season long. It would have
been hilarious.
Just let them play each other.
I just, there was a comment from Vinny Goodwill of ESPN on the Hoop Collective where he said he thinks that Steph's retiring after next year. Are LeBron and Steph going to go out at the same time? That's weird. Are they going to go out together? Like, if LeBron, I'm actually more okay with the idea of LeBron going to Golden State just because I'm like, all right, let's just kind of isolate everything together and we'll put that on there. Cause I just feel like it's time for us to collectively move on and understand that there is a limit to how old you can be where you can play at the highest level. And it took LeBron till 41. But he finally hit there, and Steph has hit his point, and it's time for us to start moving forward.
Haize.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time to start moving forward for sure. These guys are both putting up great numbers, and not to say that in the right situation they still can't play meaningful minutes on the championship team, but the NBA needs to be ready to move forward, and we need to start trusting these young guys to really step up and lead it.
Two guys who are obviously all-time greats, two guys who have their very, very fair share, more than fair share, of clutch shot making throughout their careers, big shots and flashbulb moments. But are they the guys that you would want taking the final shot in the game today? We'll talk about that. Plus, was the Rookie of the Year race decided before it even started? All of that coming up next here on Locked On NBA Daily. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Daily is brought to you by DoorDash. The season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season a lot more fun. Because every player has their bag, with DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team just stresses you out. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert now. I literally did this on Tuesday night. I DoorDashed a cookie after the Heat lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Did it help? A little bit, not gonna lie. Those late night interviews hit, suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built exactly for that. If the group chat says pull up, DoorDash makes sure that you show up prepared. Snacks, cups, even a phone charger for that friend who's always at 2%. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. The best way to support the show is to subscribe on YouTube. We are Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, wherever you get your podcasts. Kon Knueppel broke the NBA record for most three-pointers made by a rookie in a single season last night, making 207 in that game. He has now made 209 for the season. He's going to go on to set the record as the season goes on. He's doing this on a surprisingly good Charlotte Hornets team that's moving up in the East standings. And in most seasons, guys, this would have been enough to not only win Rookie of the Year, but run away. This thing would have been over, but not this season. Here's more from Locked On Hornets.
Here's the thing, like for Kon, if we just want to dive into the Rookie of the Year conversation, man, go ahead. Give it to Cooper with all of this stuff that Kon is doing. Like, you can say, oh, well, it's just a three-point shooting. No, it's not. And the people who might even just say that, they're going to know it. Go ahead. I'll say it again, Doug. If they look at this stat, okay, if they look at all of the stats that Kon is putting up and they watch the game and they still want to say that Cooper is Rookie of the Year, it means Kon Knueppel never had a shot. On a winning team where they are winning because of him, it quite literally means Kon Knueppel never had a single shot in hell to win Rookie of the Year if he doesn't win it with everything he's doing right now.
Is Doug dressed like a bee? Is that the idea there? Like a winning bee? I'm confused.
Doug is just vibing.
It's just vibe, but why not, right? It's a vibing type of season right now for the Charlotte Hornets and for Kon Knueppel in particular, Haize. I think it's a really interesting point that they bring up. If he can't win it now for what he's doing on the court, did he ever have a chance to win it at all over Cooper Flagg?
We knew what this was going to be coming into this season. Like, not to say that we knew that Kon Knueppel was going to have this type of season, because he's having an amazing year. And it's not just 3-point shots. He's hitting timely shots. He's going on stretches where he's putting the team on his back offensively. But this is going to be, not, you don't always get what you deserve. And part of that is narrative. Like, should he be Rookie of the Year? Probably. So should have Carmelo Anthony. I think that's just the reality of what this is. It was determined before this. As long as Cooper Flagg had a halfway decent year, he was going to be the Rookie of the Year.
This is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. There is nothing you can point to that says Cooper's been better. Nothing. Oh, but his teammates. It's the Charlotte Hornets. Can we please stop acting like Kon is on the Warriors, please? The Prime Warriors. Like, Kon is a huge difference maker for this team being in position to potentially make the playoffs. I don't think you need to contribute to winning as a rookie, because so many guys get drafted into bad situations, but it should be a bonus. If you legitimately contribute to a team that is in contention for a playoff spot, that should be a bonus. That should be a feather in your cap. You're not expected to contribute to winning, but if you are, that's great. What has Cooper done better? Because I've looked at the number and you're like, oh, but the rebounds and assists. The difference is about 1.4 in rebounds and assists. That's it. When he gets the highest usage all the time. Kon's been better. He's been better. He's been a better player. We should not just be like, well, we know him. No, who cares? Find out about Kon. I'm not saying Cooper Flagg sucks. I had him like third. He's now like definitely, he's got to be second. Like, he has to be second. VJ doesn't get enough touches. I think VJ might have been if he got in a different situation. But like, I genuinely, there is no argument here that Kon Knueppel isn't rookie of the year. You can't make this argument in good faith. It just has to be like, but Flagg scored a lot of points when he shot a lot for a team that lost anyway. Cool.
Hold on, and I want to, Bone, I got to pick. If people say the most casual argument that you can have is, but he had a 40-point, shut the hell up.
That's the thing here. It's if Cooper was putting up these crazy point totals that were just far surpassing the rest of this rookie class on a bad Mavericks team, I would at least see that argument. He's averaging 1 more point per game than Kon Knueppel.
So
Kon Knueppel is doing all of it.
But that's kind of the thing is he does have these like 40-point performances. Like that's it. Like I think he's on the list for the most 40-point performance, and and like the most 40-point performances by a teenager, and like all these types of things where it's like, okay, some years there was a higher draft, like there was a higher number or age for what you could be drafted at. Why? Really? Is that what we're getting to here? I can't get to a place. The rookie of the year doesn't really matter. It just really doesn't. But if we're going to say that it does, let's treat it seriously. This has always been my thing, is if we're going to treat it seriously, and if you're a voter, you should treat it seriously, and you should understand Kon Knueppel's been better. He's got to be rookie of the year.
I do think that there's a framing problem with rookie of the year, because I do think people, to Haize's point, right? Like, we watched LeBron and Melo go head-to-head that rookie season, and we all came away from that season saying, Melo probably had the better year, but LeBron's going to be the better player. And so LeBron, and that's sort of what the award has become, is based on the year we're having, the projection we have, this is the rookie of the year. Whereas, shouldn't it just be who's been the better basketball player this season? And when we frame it, who's been the better basketball player, I agree with Matt. There is zero argument that it has been anybody other than Kon Knueppel. To your point, Matt, it's a bonus when these rookies help good teams. I won't even mention Cooper's point differential because it doesn't matter with rookies most of the time, but it should be a bonus for guys like Kon, who the Hornets are outscoring opponents by a total of 164 points when Kon Knueppel is on the court. And I said I wouldn't mention Cooper's, but I'm going to do it anyway. Minus 155. Yeah. Not that it matters, but I'm just, for comparison's sake, it's a 300-point difference on the season.
Yeah. And like, Haize, this is part of where I get to is people are scared of the vote looking bad. They're scared that they're going to, that Cooper is going to be a Hall of Fame player, which I think he is. And it's going to be like, he didn't even win rookie of the year. How stupid was that? When it's like, I'm sorry, all you can do. These are awards are resume performances. That's what it is. What's your resume? We do this with MVP too, where it's like, you're really not going to give it to this guy. And it's no, because he didn't have as good of a season. To me, these are resume accomplishments, Haize.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with most improved player of the year. Most improved player of the year has become about whatever player's having the best season that's still on their rookie scale deal. That's sometimes what it becomes, rather than who actually has improved the most. All these, like, we need actual criteria for a lot of these awards, and that needs to be made public in the voting as well. That's my personal opinion.
No, the league says no, because you're talking about it right now, which is what we want.
It's true.
So that we're all on the same page, we could put a bow on this conversation. Kon Knueppel is the Locked On NBA Daily Rookie of the Year right now?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad we all ended up at the same place there. Also, last night, Anthony Edwards hits a step-back three-pointer while being double-teamed in the corner against the Clippers. Then, and here's the greatest part, after he makes the shot and the Clippers call a timeout, he turns to Chris Finch, gets in his own head coach's face, and yells, "This is what I do." And guys, that got me thinking. Who do you want taking the final shot in a game right now? Because I think we've had ideas of who this player would be, but some of those players are aging into a different part of their career now. And you've got guys like Anthony Edwards and others taking and making these shots at a pretty high rate. You get to give the rock to one player, end of game situation, shot to win the game. Haize, who are you giving the ball to?
Ooh, go to Matt first on that one. Let me think about this for a second.
Matt?
It's Jalen Brunson.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
He's so patient. There's a lot of things that I think Brunson is actually a little suspect at if you look at his overall game and you break it down. But one of the things that I always marvel at is how patient he is. You can't really get him away from his spot unless you bring a double. And he's a good enough passer to punish you. Now, I think we'll probably see that more in the playoffs, but his ability to get to the spots that he wants is absolutely phenomenal. And if you do overplay him, he is going to draw the foul. Ant's having a phenomenal clutch season. He's probably going to win clutch player of the year because he's shooting 56% in clutch time this year. But if you're asking me who I feel like I'm going to trust the most, I have a lot of confidence in Jalen Brunson to get the shot that my team needs.
I'm going to answer this, but this is going to be a cheeky answer. I'm going SGA because if he doesn't get the shot, he's at least going to get the foul and get to the free throw line.
It matters, right? You guys will never guess. I was just looking this up. Who has the most threes, the most 3-point attempts in clutch time this season is Anthony Edwards. Right. That's not surprising. The player number 2 on this list will absolutely floor you. I'm not even going to ask you to guess because you'll never get it. It's Jabari Smith Jr.
Really?
Second in the league in 3-point attempts in clutch time this season. I want to give a shout out to Donovan Mitchell because I do think he does not get discussed enough in this kind of conversation, but that guy is just a tough shot maker all the time. I might just take Ant, and maybe it's recency bias, but his shooting percentages have been good for 2 years now in clutch time. He can get any shot he wants. He's big. He's strong. He also gets to the free throw line a bunch. I'll go ahead and take Ant in this conversation.
Yeah, plus he's like an 86% true shooter in clutch time as well. Yeah.
By the way, just as a fun one, Steph is 46% in clutch time this year.
It still might just be Steph. It might just still be Steph. Guys, we finally got it. The rare thing on the NBA calendar at this stage of the season. We'll talk about it next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by this special segment of 5 Hour Energy. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy Flavor Draft. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are best and which might just be sleepers. The board's set, the flavors are ready, and only one is going to take the top spot. 5 Hour Energy has a wide variety of flavors. They really do have something for everyone. 5 Hour Energy shots give you the boost that you need with 0 sugar. I'm looking at my draft board, and I think the clear number 1 has to be cherry. It's classic, sweet with a light tart edge. It's bright, it's punchy, and it has that slight tang finish. You can't go wrong. It is, after all, the go-to flavor. But my sleeper pick is strawberry banana. Sweet strawberry flavor up front, soft mellow banana finish, smooth creamy fruit profile that tastes like a fruit smoothie, low acidity, easy to drink, and a gentle sweet aftertaste. Find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena, the crowd, the energy, the moment. And getting tickets, though, that part hasn't always been so simple. That's why Game Time has become the go-to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts advantage back where it belongs, with the fans. I pulled up the Game Time app, I picked up an upcoming NBA game, and I had tickets locked in within minutes. I love seeing the all-in price up front, which meant no surprise fees at checkout. What I saw is what I paid. I was able to see the view from my seat before I bought, making my decision easy, and I did it with confidence. Zone deals really stood out. I chose the section Game Time, picked the seat, and I saved money. They also have great last-minute options, too, with NBA tickets showing up at solid prices right up to tip-off. Everything feels quick, intuitive, and stress-free from start to finish. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today, and remember, it's gametime.co, not gametime.com. Thanks for making Locked On NBA Daily your first listen every day. The Locked On Podcast Network has a show for every team. Check out Locked On Lakers, Locked On Timberwolves, and more for more on today's top stories. Big news for tonight's games, guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander cleared to return for the Thunder's game against the Nuggets tonight. This is, I think, as anticipated of a regular season game as we've had in a minute. Both leading MVP candidates going head-to-head. And Matt, you brought this up earlier in the week, so big points to you. Neither team coming off of a back-to-back. Both teams fresh, both teams healthy-ish. Most importantly, we got the 2 best players and the 2 top leading candidates for the MVP race going toe-to-toe. What are you watching for in this one?
Well, you've mentioned the health. Aaron Gordon is still out for this one. Peyton Watson is still out for this one, unless they pop up on the injury report here at 11 Mountain Time. So I think the big thing here is Nikola Jokic has to find a way to be effective versus this defense. He averages about 1 point per possession in post-ups because he's the best post-up player on the planet. Against OKC last season, playoffs, regular season, it was a 0.8. They take away so much, and he is uncomfortable passing the ball. he's going to have to trust shooters here, and he's going to have to find angles to get into those kind of sets. Turnovers are always a premium with OKC and Denver. Denver, their win rate goes up by about 20% when they have fewer turnovers than the opponent. OKC at home wins 88% of the time the last 3 seasons when they have fewer turnovers than the opponent. Like, it's ridiculous. So got to take care of the ball. Jokic has to figure out some stuff. They're going to need shooters to make shots. Denver needs this one, I think, for their confidence and being able to have a real shot versus the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just for this one, just looking at the matchups, looking how each team paces this, adjusts to each other, because this is a big matchup for tonight and in the Western Conference overall. You know, both these guys can be MVP, and it's easy to talk about the individual and what it could mean for the MVP race and all of that. But I'm more so looking at, especially with these teams both having serious injuries and not being 100% for a while, how quickly do they get back into that routine against a opponent that both teams are well coached and stuff like that. So just looking at the X's and O's and the adjustments throughout the game in this one.
It's time to end the show the same way we do here every Friday. It's time for our fave of the week. Haize, why don't you kick us off?
My favorite thing of the week this week was doing the show with you guys, man. It was a great week of shows. I feel like this was honestly, no jokes aside, one of our best week of shows from top to bottom. So I had a lot of fun doing the show this week.
Love it. Matt?
It was fun. Mine. There's a kid named Luka, Luca, who Anthony Edwards, he gave Anthony Edwards a wristband, and Ant's been wearing it. Kid's got cancer. He's cancer free. So that's going to be my favorite of the week. That's absolutely awesome. They're celebrating it on r/NBA. Also, I looked up the numbers, and it turns out that Luka, the kid that had cancer, actually has a better defensive rating than Luka Doncic. So that's fun.
My favorite thing of the week is, I think, Haize, you mentioned it earlier, Clint Capella on Instagram defending himself against DeAndre Ayton, saying, you got 2 of the best floor generals in the game, my dog. Lock in. Which brings us to,
oh no,
this week's power rankings. I didn't play the whole song because you guys hate it. Top 5 Clint Capellas in NBA history.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Number 5, Clint Capella. Number 4, Tyson Chandler. Number 3, DeAndre Jordan. Number 2, Dwight Howard. And number 1, Shaquille O'Neal.
What? How is
Shaq and Clint Capella? Joakim Noah didn't make the list. Like, what is this list, Wes?
I was about to be extremely mad about Tyson Chandler being reduced to this. How is Shaq a Clint Capella?
He's the best one. Shaquille O'Neal is the Michael Jordan of Clint Capellas.
What exactly is a Clint Capella?
Who knows?
Who knows? Okay.
The drugs in
It's
Miami
a rim rolling
outrageous
center who
right
can
now.
protect the rim. A rim rolling center who protects the rim.
Wes, that list was a failed drug test, bro. That was a failed drug test, man.
He's in Miami.
Might have been a failed sleep test based on my my week. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Thanks to Matt and Haize for their expertise every day. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network your first listen. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Locked On NBA Daily.